Hey, is that? Oh fuck!
So you just want to get like right there.
But it was in the way of your face, you know.
Oh yeah, that's where you want it.
Is it okay here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Do I just stay totally rigid like this?
I
I love how they're getting the side profile shot. It's just
Your
like
terrible back posture.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, it's a microphone. Isn't that like a Rode 3-way arm? Like, or maybe I should do that to correct the posture.
Swivel.
I could do that. Then my chin looks like less of a thumb. I think I'm just gonna have
All right,
to embrace it.
let's just get into it.
I reckon the slouch is so much more chic. It is like,
Do you reckon it's more compelling? Gets your points across?
It's-
More disarming?
no, it's cooler because it shows you care less. You know, everyone's like, oh, you gotta have good posture, but it's
Right.
like, well, that's not cool because you're trying.
I'd much rather do long-term permanent damage to my back than conform to your bullshit.
Yeah, because it's like always cool to not try, you know? So if I'm slouching,
Where did that come from? Like the whole cool to not try.
it's effortless.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
But it's like almost like
It's not caring. It's
like-
because it's like you're not caring about authority, I reckon, you know?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But maybe when you're younger, because this is interesting. Because I was watching I was thinking about this. I was watching this family. There was like 2 kids, a mom and a dad, and like one of the kids was like 14 years old, and he was like walking about 3 meters ahead of the whole family, and you know, just trying to be like kind of independent physically, but like not fully mentally ready to commit to it. And I asked my mom, I was like, isn't that kind of weird? And she was like, no, that's totally normal. I used to do that shit all the time. Did you ever do that?
What do you mean? Like walking ahead of the family?
Yeah,
or what?
because you want to have a bit of a separate. You're trying to come into your own when you're in your teenage years.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I understand.
And then there was
Yeah.
that small, like, I think that was like a physical expression of trying to do that, where it's like, I guess I kind of have to hang out with the family, and I wouldn't like a free, I'd like
Yeah.
a free lunch right now.
I wasn't really like that. I was sort of,
a twink.
yeah, it's just a fucking pussy. It's-
My man.
I was a family time. Another brunch.
Oysters?
But with going on with that, I hate it. Like the kids that wear like headphones out with the family with headphones on. Do you see that? No,
No, I've seen it, but it's like when I see a mom walking her
dog.
yeah, but what kid with like a dog leash on the back?
Oh,
Have
that
you
was
seen
me.
it? Are you kidding me? You
No,
had a
like at
leash?
airports. Yeah. What?
It's just it's like just control your child.
Yeah, it was just a safety thing. It was around my neck. Yeah, just I would be like one of those dogs on the chain, you know. Just,
I never understood those.
I had a backpack with a leash.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
See, when I was younger, my parents would just look at those with absolute disdain. Just
Really?
like, oh
They're
my
like they can't
God.
control their kids, or like that's way too safe, or
It's overkill, and it's just like control your child without a physical restraint.
I think it was. I wasn't out of control as a child at all.
Right.
It was just really convenient. You know, there was no. You know,
Yeah,
there's
your
no
mom's
risk.
had a few margaritas.
Yeah.
She's not looking at you.
Yeah, in the Koru lounge. They used to tie me up to just poles
Outside the
at check-in. I'm just.
I can't. It's so bizarre, that whole. I don't know, why do I not like that though? Because it does make total practical sense.
Yeah, it was literally only for practical, like in an airport or like in a really busy train station or
At
something.
13, 14?
Yeah, it's like 11.
At what age is the cutoff though, right? Like if I see a 7-year-old, I'm like,
Oh no,
that kid's probably still breastfeeding.
No, I can barely even remember the time. I think it was like 3-year-old. You know,
Do you like physically remember the feeling?
no.
Right.
I remember kind of what it looks like, but I don't remember. It wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of like, just don't run off.
No elasticity in the rope.
Yeah,
It's just
nothing.
Like straight.
Yeah. And it's only like a meter long.
It's like one of those blue fishing ropes as well. You know, it's got like frayed everywhere.
Yeah. It
And
was
even-
barbed.
You run off
Yeah.
once and you never do it again.
I used to try and bite it off and they put a big dog collar on me.
This is just dumb.
Anyway.
Anyway, so this is a podcast episode number 1.
Yeah.
and I wanted to have you, Nick,
Yeah.
as my best friend.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I throw myself out there. It's such an easy put down. Oh, yeah, right.
Oh,
okay.
really?
Chill.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
cool.
kind.
Yeah, we're for cool.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to like have an introduction to the podcast and basically give a rundown of kind of what this is. So the title is Gavin Learns, as opposed to Gavin gets his dumb fucking ass educated.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to get some water. I can feel my mouth.
You can feel yourself getting
Yeah,
some water?
I'm
We
getting
can
dry.
Well, we can just edit a tiny bit. We'll edit
Like that bit.
We'll edit that last bit. out, Yeah.
Fantastic.
But the purpose of the podcast is more or less, I think, for me. I was talking to somebody about this recently. Like for me, I do my thinking a lot through like conversations,
Yeah.
which isn't necessarily always to my benefit because I end up saying some really dumb shit. But at the same time, it helps me kind of formulate ideas about new topics, new things. And I'm not really one of those. I wish I was like a person who could like sit down and contemplate a topic quite heavily.
Yeah.
But my mind just wanders so much, and I find like when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I get into a state where I can really actively think about the topic while talking about it.
Right.
And so the purpose of the podcast is more or less
Kind of your therapy.
incredibly cheaper though, more accessible.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a therapist on the podcast. Actually, that'd be really cool.
True.
But yeah, just to kind of have some fun and kind of go from there. Now, I
Can
want
I
to
get
talk.
some water?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes. I'm really thirsty. I look at your laptop and I'm like, we get it. You're a bartender.
Ah, yeah.
Because stickers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I wanted to. So a bit of
It was a
invisible
Catan,
editing. Water
eh?
just came out of nowhere.
God, this is a clean glass, isn't it?
So, I wanted to talk about a bit about what you do, actually. Kind of like even the table that we're currently sitting on right now. Well,
Okay.
is something that you designed.
Yes.
Let's just start with the style. You're an artist. Would you call yourself an artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's
yeah.
just talk about the style of
Like,
art.
sort of. Yeah.
You were telling me one of like your big inspirations is Tom Sachs. Is that right?
Yeah. I really like Tom Sachs.
Okay.
I think I like how he just sort of so I don't know. I haven't thought about this. I didn't know we were talking about me.
Well, okay. Can we
I just like how his stuff, you look at it and you're like, wow, that's very intricate. But then also you look at it and you could be like, oh, fuck, I could make that myself.
Right.
I like that aspect to it. It's very playful and it's very like accessible because it's made out of like household items, everything. So, the fact that he used plywood and everything and it's in like contemporary art galleries, everyone has, well, not everyone, but like if you really wanted to, you could get access to plywood. It's a very readily available resource and a saw, and that's how he got all started,
And so, like, the artwork that you're kind of creating is, I mean, I know it all. So, I think the most significant thing that I've seen you create is you create like a karaoke cupboard,
Yes.
which was freaking, I don't know why I said karaoke cupboard. Is that right? I've been in it like multiple times.
Yeah.
But, so, you describe it. Describe the karaoke cupboard, and that can stand as like a testament to like the other stuff that you're kind of gradually creating and messing around with.
It's it's
an
fun.
insane
It's
looking thing.
very large. It's 2.5 meters high. You walk inside it, and you just do karaoke. And it's got a couple of mics, snacks, big speakers, got
And there's some,
screens
like,
on the
whack
outside.
Yeah, screens on the outside.
Yeah, and it records what's happening on the inside. But
Mini fridge in the middle.
Yeah, you can't see what's happening. You can't really tell you're being filmed when you're on the inside because you
Right.
get very distracted. So you give like a very authentic karaoke performance.
For everyone on the outside.
Yeah. I really want it to be used in somewhere like more public though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hard. Well, it's easy to imagine it, but I just really want to see it and how people interact with it. Because for me, I have seen how my friends interact with it, but I want to see how total randoms interact with it.
Totally. Which
Yeah.
is kind of similar to what you did with the, you had a mask as well, which I guess is kind of like a twist on the karaoke cupboard in that there was cameras on the outside and it kind of like created a...
Yeah. You wore like a video of your own face
Right.
from all angles. And you'd think like, I don't know. It's like not that big a deal. It's like you may as well just be standing there.
Right.
Because everyone's looking at you.
You get in, it's like super underwhelming.
Yeah.
But on the outside, everyone's like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the people inside are just like, what am I doing? Like, am I meant to see anything? And everyone's like kind of looking and like laughing at you because you look confused and like bulbous and stuff.
And you can check all this stuff out. It's like on your Instagram.
Yeah. But it's just like very uncomfortable when you're in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
No, I love the style of art. And I don't think I've ever seen anything, but I'm not super. Like,
You haven't seen
in
Tom
it.
Sachs.
Yeah, exactly. That's just
pretty
what
much
I was gonna
identical.
say. Honestly, he's literally done everything that I've done.
To a T. Yeah. Yeah. Broken out all the measurements and everything.
I'm getting sued by his company
Yeah.
for
Yeah, it's just
intellectual property
a big
infringement.
fraud. Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, I don't really want to make stuff like that anymore. I really like it, but it's just a nightmare to build.
Right.
It's accessible, but you do need you just need to get really messy, and it's just so much sawdust and shit, and like
It gets dirty.
it's just expensive and like big and extravagant. I want to make. Everyone's like, oh, what are you making next? And it's like expecting something bigger, but I'm just like, no, I want something I can make on my desk,
Right.
just something really small. And I guess I'm probably like a bit worried because I don't know if people are like that. Because people at the moment are like, whoa, it's so sick, your stereo, like your gaming thing. And I'm like, yeah, but like I can't keep that up right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a kid on the way, Just kidding.
So maybe.
Well, I don't know.
It's chill. Was it like a phase that you were going through then? Just like I want to mess around, make some stuff? Or was it like, because we talk a lot about, I think, just, I don't know, like I eventually want to become like I say like entertainer.
Yeah.
Because I definitely feel like I want to become a professional comedian, but I want to also broaden my space out to like other avenues. And so I don't really want to limit myself. But I'm very mindful of the stuff that I create earlier on. Do you feel like there was a concerted effort from you at the very beginning to go ahead and be like, oh, listen, I'm going to create some really cool artistic stuff, A, for the fun of it, but B, because I think it'll lead on to like other things?
Yeah, I think like a really important thing with creativity, which like before I started my journey, so to speak,
Right, which I want to talk to you about.
before I sort of started, a lot of the things I was like reading or hearing about from artists that I liked was you've always got to start off like emulating before you get your own style. It's very difficult to sit there and be like, come up with something totally original and have it be like successful or have have it engage you. So, hearing that from like really prolific artists who are like, oh, you start off, I don't know what the quote is, but it's basically like you start off copying and then you get your own style. So yeah, I was kind of just like not so worried about that. So I was really inspired by Tom Sachs' work and a few other artists that are kind of like similar in terms of like resource use and like making things really functional, like things that could actually do something. And then just in terms of the tools to my disposal, it was all like wood tools and things in the garage. And that was like a very easy avenue to go down. So when I was starting out, it was like, oh, well, I want to make this for myself. I want to make this because it's good practice like carpentry. I want to make this because I want someone to appreciate it as art. And then those are like my three criteria. I wasn't too worried if it looked too similar to Tom Sachs because like, I don't know, it's just early stuff.
Yeah,
and if I get hung up on that, I wouldn't have done anything. So
do you think a lot of people do?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. If I like really got in my own head about it and I was paying rent and stuff and there was just like lots of other burdens, I'd be like, oh no, I got to do something better. Or I got to do something newer or something. Or it was ultimate like freedom living at home, it was very flexible. So yeah, I don't know. It was like, I just see a lot of people getting in their own heads about those kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's not very healthy.
I totally agree with you. I think like when someone tries to like look down like a certain like, and I guess I can only relate it to comedy, but like, I want to be a professional comedian. And then you look at that thing where it's just like,
yeah,
there are so many aspects to this one thing that it's so enormous,
Yeah.
And you just,
I think you need to come a bit closer to the
I think
mic.
you're right. I'll have to edit that out because
I can hear you, but it's just
a bit weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First podcast we're
because you often like lean back.
Yeah. I need to So,
Yeah.
it's a norm.
Yeah,
Like a ring fight announcement.
You need the one that comes down here, and you're like over there.
No, but yeah, bringing it back to what you're saying. But like, I think a lot of people can see like a task or just a thing, and they get in their own heads and they put way too much pressure on something that should ultimately be coming down to like because I feel like art in general is like a pleasure.
Yeah,
pursuit, right?
The pleasure should be in the process. It should be a
100%.
personal thing.
Yeah,
That's-
and the success is more of a byproduct of following the pleasure, but it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you neglect a sense of, I don't really know how to describe it, but like a real pragmatic approach to like your art, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think that should be the main focus. You know,
No.
for like me with comedy, it's like I want to become a better comedian. You know, so and I really enjoy getting up and doing stand up comedy. But nonetheless, I'm very mindful of like how much time I spend writing, how much I like how I dial into my new material. So those are side factors of like the ultimate passion, which is the artistic
Yeah.
comedy as an art form.
Yeah.
So I think, but yeah, I think people kind of get really wrapped up in that the enormity of like a very otherwise easy to follow task. But yeah, I don't know. It's a wild one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wacka wacka. And so I wanted to talk to you a tiny bit about just like the year of growth that
Shaka's
growth.
up, dude. It's
chill vibes.
the
you
old
know.
awakening. My man.
I think it's just so chill. you
Yeah. I'm so like pragmatic and normal, and then when I speak to you, it's like, wow, a year of personal growth, man.
100%. But it's been like, I think it's almost weird where it's been like,
Back on that hippie shit.
it's been real concerted from my end. Like I
Yeah.
100% was like, oh, listen, I'm trying to look at things in like a new way, and be critical, but in like a positive way as well. And so this past year, maybe even 2 years now,
Yeah, since you've
I'd
been back
roughly
from
say.
Melbourne.
Since I came back from Melbourne, it was so my little story is American accent. When I was young, I went from the States to Spain from like 7 to 9, lived in Spain for about 2 years.
Yeah, you've told me.
And this is for the five viewers that I swear to God I'll have.
Yes. Fantastic. Yeah.
They'll love it. They eat this shit up.
Yeah.
So then Spain, and then Spain to New Zealand. And then when I was 18 years old, went traveling for a tiny bit, came back, started a uni degree at like 19, and then went to Melbourne. And I was originally supposed to go to Melbourne for like 3 months, do like a summer job because I got 2 passports, New Zealand, American. I can work over there.
Yeah.
There for like 3 months originally, and then met a girl.
Oh, man.
My man.
That's pretty cool. I do love girls.
Hasn't happened since.
You know. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So 3 months, and then ended up turning into like roughly 7 months. And it was
Yeah.
great. Met a girl, and then came back to New Zealand, and then tried.
Weren't you deported?
No.
Just trying to put all these little things in.
Yeah, wasn't
So
there
do you still owe tax to the Australian government?
Yeah, are they still looking for you? Are you still done on that drug trafficking charge?
It's only like a 4-year ban, right?
5.
Holy shit.
But it came back, and then and then broke up with that girl, and I think that breakup was just like the real catalyst, just like super confronting, just like really bummed out.
I'm not me.
Who is Gavin?
Yeah.
But broke up, and then I think that breakup was really just like the catalyst for like a lot of introspection and being very self-critical, but like in a real positive way. I think you can be self-critical in a negative way where it's just like, I fucking hate myself.
I
I'm a
can't do
fucking idiot.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if you just change the way that you look at yourself and how you are, why you're being self-critical, the reason behind it, you know? And so like my reasoning was like, I'm being self-critical because I want to change certain things. And then there was a lot building up and leading into that. And then went into therapy. And then I was only in therapy for like 4 sessions. But even that was just like, a lot of these things I feel, especially with therapy, is it's more of like a tool to widen your perspective on certain things. I mean, you had a similar...
Yeah.
If you want to talk
It's
about
just like so good.
Yeah,
It's
amazing.
It's like, yeah, I only went to the psychologist for like a couple of panic attacks, which was like kind of an easy fix, to be honest, like a few sessions, and you just are like, oh yeah, I feel much more aware. You know, it's like learning some breathing techniques and stuff. So yeah, your one is just KO. No, just like learning some really hands-on approach, kind of just mitigate the issue.
Right.
But yeah, I started going a little bit more, and at that point I really didn't need to go, but I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty good, you know, like I was really learning a lot and I really, really enjoyed it. So I went for another maybe like 5 sessions or something after that. And
Yeah, I was
just
good after 4, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You were fixed. No, it was just so good. The way I describe it is like, I don't know, it just feels like a bit of a superpower because not many other people do it that are in our friend group. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been to like counseling, but maybe for more like intense things. Yeah. I guess it's a real privilege to go when there's not a whole lot you need to go for. But yeah, it was just so useful. Yeah, I reckon. Just learn a lot about yourself and like other people and how to read people and things. And
Yeah.
just feel a lot more like self-assured and grounded in the world. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think there's like a weird taboo around, it's changing, but like, you know, psychotherapy,
Yeah.
and going into counseling. And I think when you say that, people instantly think there's something seriously wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God. Rock bottom.
Yeah,
Like the
manic
only
depression.
person.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but I wasn't like manically depressed, you know? or
No,
anything
neither.
like that.
Oh, I had pretty bad panic. Yeah. I mean, for me, I had like some bad panic attacks. So like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Sure.
But
yeah,
like,
overall, like your daily life was like pretty
pretty normal.
normal.
Yeah, I
pretty good.
wasn't like suffering too much.
No.
So
It would, like, neither was I. And I think like there's that whole attitude of like, oh, you only go into this if you're fucked up.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like you are depressed and
yeah.
all that jazz. But like that was definitely not the case.
How incredible would it be if it was just like you went for a regular psychologist appointment?
Amazing.
Everyone went, you know,
Yeah.
just as often as everyone goes to the doctor.
Yeah. I think it should gradually turn into that as
Yeah.
time goes on.
It would be
it might.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine was free. I went
Yeah.
for free. Yeah, I got through like the
Through
EAP services, which work ended up paying for, and
Mine was free as well.
parents paid for that
Yeah.
one. But it was like, yeah, it's so I don't know why is it that you're talking about yourself, right? But mine was quite weird too, because like on my second to last session, there was just like I think I was talking to my therapist like, oh, like, you know, my problem is I think I want to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And then I kind of compromise on my own integrity and focus more on like other people rather than myself.
Yeah.
And-
I remember you'd like hang out with so many people. You know, you'd bump into someone
Yeah.
on the street and be like, want to hang out? And I'd always be like, you don't have to hang out with that many people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't need that many friends, buddy.
Well, it's like quality over quantity. you know?
Exactly.
And it's like keeping it's I think I find it much more rewarding having like, you know, I think at the moment I've probably got like 3, maybe 4 like significant friendships that I, you know, cherish quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I find those so much more rewarding than
Like
15, you know,
Yeah,
whereas where
surface
I was,
level.
yeah, 100 like 3 years ago, where it was just like, you know, doing everything. And
Do you think it's like, so we can talk about it in terms of like a, you know, psychologist point of view or whatever, or like getting to know yourself. But I was thinking about it the other day, and it's almost like a habitual thing, where you're breaking a habit or breaking a cycle and what your body is used to in a way. I don't know. It could be on some real hippy dippy shit right now, but like if your body is used to hanging out with 15 people surface level, always doing something, and then you bring it back, you just like and you bring it back to like 4 close ones, it just immediately feels like you're breaking the cycle, and your body like craves it. You know how during lockdown we were doing nothing and felt so content, and I was like, damn, this is so good, I feel so great, you know. And then recently I've just been like, every single day I've got like 5 different things to do. I'm doing like a shoot here, and I go pick up underwear to do another shoot here, and then I go edit photos at home, and then I got to go drop something off to Matilda or something, you know. Just so many things. And I remember being like, I remember being kind of like addicted to that the other day. And then I sat down in the evening and I'm like, well, who can we have around for dinner? You know? And then I was like, no, like it's just in my head, you know? I don't know how to explain it.
I think your brain, no, you're totally true, because your brain kind of like forms these pathways, and it creates like a reward system based on like there's a real difference between, I think, like, you know, euphoria and contentment. And I think for the most part, at least in, you know, our world at our age, I'm 24, you're 24, is it's like a lot of people kind of pursue the, you know, the euphoria, the flash bang,
everyone
big
thinks
night out,
that it should be like life should just be total happiness.
Yes,
you know, like that's the goal, but I think it's totally unachievable.
I think so too.
Just need contentness.
I've had like but like in saying that, like I've had like amazing nights that are like, you know, a 9 out of 10 that have started from just very chill, laid back, few drinks, and just, you know, sitting at a 6, you know, and it's like really nice. Like a steady 6 all day. But I'm very similar. Like always, I'm trying to get like tasks done, and there's like it's a reward, right? You feel like,
But I guess the thing about going to a psychologist is you're able to break those cycles and you're able to catch yourself in it. So I caught myself in it the other night when I'm like just been so busy all day. Danica comes home, we like cook dinner, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, next thing. And then I caught myself feeling like that, and I kind of ripped myself out of it, and I was like, no, like I'm gonna really just try and stop. I'm gonna watch Lego Masters Australia. I was like, I'm gonna watch TV tonight. And it's kind of hard. You know, you just feel like you're fighting yourself a little bit. And you're just like, oh, okay, fine. But then it's really nice. And you're like, oh, I should have done this. It's strange.
It's weird. I feel like, I know what you're saying, but I feel like with at least therapy as well, as it's like, we were talking about this a while back, and that it's really just like a tool for a new way of thinking. And I think I was talking to, I live with these two final year students trying to become psychiatrists or psychologists. And they were, and I said to them, I said, do you think a lot of people who get into therapy are looking for therapy to be like an end-all solution to their problems, you know? And she's like, I think you're right. And a lot of people hope that like, it's like taking a pill. Taking a pill is like and I'm not saying there's not a place for taking pills. I think there absolutely is. But it is essentially the easiest solution to a problem that you have going on in your head, because it's like, I'll just take a pill and then that sorts it out, instead of like going about it where, and once again, I think there's 100% like someone's like, you know, incredibly depressed, they need to kind of be able to like flatline a tiny bit with their emotional state and then let their mind work away at things.
I guess I just don't even know how some of those terrible situations people feel.
Of course.
Because like, I mean, I can pretty confidently be like, oh, for me, it was just a tool and it was me fixing myself and I took responsibility. But I was in a pretty good situation, you know? But if it was just like multiple family members died, living in poverty, you know, just so hard.
Where it's just a struggle to get out of bed when you don't have that energy.
I can't even relate to that.
No, neither can I. And I can only speak from like the common experience that I have, where it's just like, I was pretty good, maybe like a 4 out of 10, like for the most part. And then just using like I had the mental will to like approach therapy in like a real positive way.
It's kind of rare.
I think so too.
And it's kind of like probably product of a pretty good life.
I think so. And I also think I think it was the reason I got into therapy was not because I was crazy depressed, and the demographic that I think therapy for the most part is targeted towards or is seen as by larger people. You know, it's like you go to therapy if you're only really fucked up. That's when you go. Rather than like, I'm just not feeling kind of good. I kind of want to change this one thing.
If you like suggested it to someone older, they'd be like,
100%.
What?
I've said that to
I probably would be like a few years ago. I'd be like, you serious?
Therapy? I've said that to a friend of mine who was literally like 24 years old. And I said, I went to therapy. I told you about this. And he was like, no, fuck that. I'm not fucked up. I'm not going to therapy. I'm like, dude, I went to therapy. I'm not fucked up either. You know?
Or maybe
maybe I start crying. And
bloody wimp.
A little cis boy.
You got, what's the time? Just wondering.
We are at 11:15.
Oh, fantastic.
Plenty of time. But we're chilling, you know.
Just wanted a time check. The old TC.
Classic.
Classic TC.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about lockdown as well.
Bro.
Now, I've talked to a lot of people about lockdown.
Yeah.
Retrospectively, everyone loves it.
Yeah, fuck. Everyone. Yeah, most people I know loved it.
But when we were in it,
No, we loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
The first 4 weeks I loved. Last 3 weeks I started to struggle.
It wasn't 3. It wasn't 7
It was
weeks.
7 weeks. Level 3 was like 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I guess level 3 wasn't really hugely locked down for me because I was able to work still.
Okay.
So I was still having to.
What are you doing for work at level 3?
I was taking some photos.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like moving house.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was pretty much just locked in my house. It was
Yeah.
exactly the same, you know.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I for the most part, it was good for the first 4 weeks. But then I go talk to everybody about it now. But at the same time, like when I was talking to people during lockdown, they're like, "I'm fucking done with this. I need to get out. I'm going stir crazy." But now they look back on it like, "Yeah, just so done." Yeah. You know.
What do you mean? So
sorry,
done?
no, sorry. They look back on it now like, yeah, I'd love to go back into it. That was so great. I
Really?
enjoyed it. Yeah, 100%.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Who were the people that didn't like it at the time? Like colleagues and stuff?
Colleagues, yeah, colleagues for the most part.
Yeah.
That's who I talked to.
Fuck. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. For me, I probably wouldn't like to go back, but I'm really, really grateful for the experience. I think it was incredible. It was crazy, like global social experiment. I don't know. It sounds kind of bad though, because like it's a pandemic, you know.
Yeah, once
It's
again, we are in a
horrible.
very
It's
privileged
like literally in the best position, best country for it. And
100% the best country. From
neither
what
of
I
us lost
understand,
our jobs.
No one lost their job. Well, yeah, I know a few people actually lost their jobs.
Yeah. So yeah, from our but then what was I gonna say? The people probably from your work that didn't lose their jobs. Do you think it's just like a grass is greener thing? You
I
know,
think so.
like the opposite's always better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish I had a full-time job sometimes,
Totally.
but then when I'm in the full-time job, I'd be like, I wish
Fuck
I was
this.
self-employed. Yeah, exactly.
I think, yeah, 100%. Why is that? Why does everything look better in retrospect?
I don't think your brain just like remembers good things to avoid trauma.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Rose-tinted glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
I think you're a little bit low for the old mic. Can we?
No, yeah, see, you can
it's
hear
just a little bit directional.
Hello.
It's, it's just imagine it going straight into the back of your throat. That's the position.
But I think, yeah, retrospect is weird. Everyone kind of really likes it. But I got a lot out of it. I really enjoyed it. I came out a lot more self-assured. I feel more self-assured coming out of it. Mainly because, and I don't know about you, but like it taught me how to kind of just be comfortable with myself. For like and there was no like fear of missing out. Like I was like, everyone's on the same level right now. No one else is having a great time while I'm fucking stuck in my house with my parents, you know?
That was kind of it for me, but like I was already quite comfortable with myself. But the big thing for me was like, since I was at Danica's house.
Who's your girlfriend?
It's pretty cool, I know.
My man.
And I was at her house, and it was just me, her, and her brother. I was very like restricted with the amount of stuff I could bring because I'm moving house. So I just had like my computer and some clothes. And yeah, I was just really surprised with how little I could be happy with. So I had no work. I just had Danica and her brother. I was living in a house that was kind of like, you know, it was okay in a location that I probably usually wouldn't want to live in. Mm-hmm. But I just had my computer and them, and I was like stoked. You know, I was having a great time. And I was like, damn, maybe I don't need as much. You know,
You've
it was
become a minimalist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I got
On
my
what?
knee. I got my knee on that sharp.
No. Is it bleeding?
No.
That's just your
I'm gonna-
psoriasis.
I'm gonna have to get it amputated, but I was going to anyway because of minimalism. I don't do any sports, so I probably don't need my legs.
I don't need my legs. It's dead weight.
Yeah, I do most of my time sitting anyway. So.
I get genuinely worried about like how much time I spend sitting at my in my job. I'm like 8 hours.
You need like a beautiful
Yeah,
share.
crazy. Kind of like your steel cast iron.
far out.
Aluminium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I need
good
that.
shit. Well, it's not good for your posture.
Did you
It's
get
just-
someone to build a cushion for that, by the way?
Yeah, I'm getting it tomorrow.
Nice. Who's building it? Making it.
Brie.
So, okay, so with your, I just want to talk about your art a tiny bit more.
Okay.
So are you going back into it at the moment, or are you just, because you're also contracting, doing quite a bit of photography?
Yeah, honestly, this year is like my year for just maybe not doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just because I want to like prove to myself that I can be self-employed and pay the bills and everything.
I feel like you're already there, though. Don't you? Like,
Oh.
you're scraping by. Is that kind of what you feel like?
No, if this current workload keeps up, then I'm at a comfortable level. You
Okay.
know, I'm fine.
Cool. So if like a global recession doesn't come in the next 3 to 4 months due to some virus that literally caused a pandemic. And,
Yeah. Well, my thing at the moment is saving enough to get my living expenses to the end of my rent, to the end of my lease. You
Okay.
know? I'm like 3 months away.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just
Till
trying
the
to
end
like
of your
go really
lease.
hard right now. And once I'm at this like pool of money to be like, I can afford food and internet and rent
Right.
until the end of the lease, then I know that I'm fine.
And you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the point I'm trying to get to.
Okay. And then after that, do you kind of like go back into art, or are you just kind of playing it by ear?
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe like move cities.
Because
don't
you wanted
know.
to go to, what is it?
I was thinking maybe going like Sydney again. or
Yeah. You
something.
still kind of tossing that up?
It's like at the back of my mind. Yeah. I kind of like that COVID's here in the sense that it gives some certainty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I won't even think about it. I'll just embrace the time here.
Yeah, that restricting of choices almost made my life so much more simple.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'll go flatting. Like, I'll do it. I'll make the most of here,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that it just simplifies everything a lot.
I'm so glad I didn't do the choice that I was going to do, which was go to India.
Yeah, I feel like everyone was telling you not to go to India as well,
Subtly.
subtly.
I'm glad I didn't. But
They're being hit really hard. now, I think.
I don't even know if they have accurate numbers.
No, I don't know. They've got such a huge population.
It was ultimately, just so much stuff up in the air as well. And I think like having that choice taken away from me left me to like, okay, well, I have to choose between this and this now instead of these 3 things.
Yeah.
And just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And then also makes you appreciate the 2 choices that you do have on the table a bit more retrospectively as well.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does. Makes you more grateful. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Like I feel stoked in my situation right now.
I'm chuffed with mine
But if
too.
COVID wasn't a thing, I'd be like second guessing myself quite a bit.
Would you?
I think so. I think I'd be like less self assured. So, yeah.
I wonder if you can come out of this whole thing with just more of like, you know what, I can trust myself doing the right decision a tiny bit more.
That's what I want to get out of it.
100%.
I want to be self assured. I don't want to have to ask my parents every time I do something. Do you think this is a good idea?
I have the exact same thing where it's
Yeah.
like I wish I could just be like, no, driven. But there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with asking for advice and getting a
Oh
second
no,
opinion.
but it's like as you get older, you're gonna have less and less of those people you can ask. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's kind of good to be that person for yourself, I
Mm.
think.
But I think you're probably like that more so than most people. And I know it's ultimately like an individual journey and you can't really compare yourself to
Yeah.
others. But you're quite like on that track, I think, for the most part.
Being self assured.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
it's
think a
kinda
lot
hard
of
to
people
s-
come to you for like advice and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Yeah, people do it. Yeah, people do. They like ask me like, how can I also be self-employed?
Ginger.
Yeah, a ranger.
Yeah, twink.
It's
How can I be a twink in a
total square. No, people ask me that, but I don't know. I feel sort of strange answering because I guess like technically I'm probably in a position where I can answer it now. You know, like I guess on paper I am looking after myself and I am self-employed for the most part. So I am in a position where I can answer that, but I just doesn't feel like real, you know? And when people ask me, I'm just like, I don't know, just do something for like 2 years and it'll probably turn into
Probably
something.
work
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
But that's the thing. A lot of people want it now. you know?
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone yesterday and he was like, yeah, I just really, you know, I'm in this position in life right now. You know, I've worked a couple of jobs. I just really don't want to work for anyone. Like, what do you reckon? And I'm just like, oh my God, like it's very gradual and you need to figure out a lot of things for yourself and it's quite hard. And, you know, maybe everyone's story is different. Like, I reckon some people could probably pick something up and like monetize it really quickly. But yeah, in terms of being self-employed, I think it takes a while, at least for me. I'm pretty slow.
Yeah, it's real gradual, and you have to kind of develop connections.
Yeah,
with
and just like
people.
meet people, because a lot of people are like, oh, you just really got to put yourself out there. And for me, I didn't really do that. I guess I did, but in a sense, as in like I took jobs and things, and I was like speaking to people, but I wasn't like, posting on Instagram the whole time like, I can build your tables, I can do this, I can do that. It was just subtle things here and there, and just getting jobs through friends, and then friends of friends. Yeah.
I think that's probably the right way to go about it, though, because no one likes that greaser who's like, hey, guys, just started this new company.
Yeah. It's
and we
kind
know
of,
a few people on Facebook who just,
yeah,
mentor shit.
It's,
Oh, God,
it's just,
man.
that's weird. Yeah.
It just feels cheesy, and it feels fake, too.
Yeah. I kind of like the jobs coming naturally. People like trust you more. And you have like other people vouching for you as well.
Yes.
So rather than it be like I go into a job cold, it was really hard, But I've gone into jobs where like respectable companies have put my contact details to another company, and I don't even have to prove a body of work or anything. They're just like, oh well, if this company used you, then they're good enough for me, and that's when it starts getting easier.
Big time.
It's just hard when it's not like that, and you're like, your dad's friend's sister needs something built, and then not paying big money and not doing that, doesn't know what they want, and you're just like, oh god, I don't know, and then you just have to find this like courage that you really feel like you shouldn't have. That's just when it's like fucked.
Well, it's like those initial few years with like anything.
Yeah.
I think you really just have to. I think it's harder. You have to, someone who seems like uber successful probably had to work a lot harder in their earlier stages to kind of get to that point where things kind of, it's like the classic saying, it's, easy to make money when you're rich.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I can just chuck this in a bank account and my money just gets reinvested. It's the same with like, I think any profession or just investment that you make in like interactions. And
I remember doing like the first building job. And honestly, it's what started it all. It was really good, and it built my confidence. And it was Maddie, little Maddie. And she got me to build some shelves for her place. And they were really big shelves. They were like 3.5 meters long, and a corner one. It was like the biggest thing I'd ever built. And I couldn't believe that she'd asked me. And I was such a novice. Like, I didn't know you could buy 24 millimeter plywood. So I was buying 2 sheets of 12 and hand nailing them and gluing them. So I'd cut them, and I wouldn't even cut them together. I would cut the 2 pieces separately, and they'd never be the same shape. And I'm like planing them down. Like, it was so intense. And then I don't have a nail gun. So I'm like hand tapping nails into every single panel. And I went through like 1,000 nails, putting these things together.
You nailed 1,000 things into this.
Yeah. And it took me like full time, like 9-hour days, about like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to make this thing. And I painted it and varnished it. And I did it all for like less. It was like $900, and materials cost maybe like $550. And I worked up my hourly rate to something like, it was below $4 an hour. Like, I was like so stoked. I was like, oh my god, I'm making like $400 cash from this or something, And it was just so low, but yeah, I was just stoked to be doing it. And then that's what got me the next job. And then that actually did pay all right. It still didn't pay great, because I was still a novice and everything took forever. And then that got me the next job. And then I made 18 tables and I quit because it was living hell. But yeah.
Never a fucking again.
Yeah, but the other day I was filming something here, and someone's like, wow, this is a nice table. Did you build this one too? And I was like, yeah, I built that. I built 18 of them actually. And they were like, wow, that's so impressive. Like for events? And I was like, yeah, for this like big events company. And they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, my friend's running an event company looking for tables. And I was just like,
just break out into a cold sweat.
But it's so funny. It just like hits you like, damn. And then she's like, would you still make them? And I'm like, yeah. Even though it was great. I'm so glad I did it. And it was an amazing experience. But I remember being so stressed, so anxious. And that's like when my panic attacks kind of started. Like,
was that the first one? So your first panic attack was after you chugged.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I draw the line there.
Okay.
But no, I was just really stressed after that stuff. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to build these tables again. I don't want to have this. I don't want to be a chippy, basically.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just too much for me. Too much responsibility for such a novice. Yeah, but when she asked, I was kind of like, oh, shit, I probably could, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, damn, it's, you know, probably good money and I could probably do it faster this time. It's that kind of like...
That classic example of like, holy shit, I've gotten better. I also, but you've learned too, like I've outsourced this here and there, and it's literally a constant state of...
It's like you want to go back to... You want to touch the stove again, you know?
yeah. Would you do it? Are you going to do it?
It was very conversational, you know? It's nothing at the moment. If the job was big enough, I'd seriously be like...
Potentially.
I'd be like, good money, you know, like I could.
Yeah.
I'd probably do it. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. It's so hard. It
'Cause
really is all consuming.
It sounds like you're still in a space of like, because you do a lot of stuff. You do like
a real variety.
the chippy, you know, you do 3D modeling. You're
Yeah.
involved in art, but you're also
Photography.
involved in photography.
Yeah.
Are you still in the process of like jack of all trades, trying to do, not trying, but just enjoying doing everything else? Or are you still, because the way that I see it, you go through these phases of like, you know, 3-4 months of just really intense into 3D rendering, you know, and modeling and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, I really, really love it. And then you even get like a few jobs here and there. But then it's like, all right, I put that on the side, pursue like a new thing. Is that, would you say that's pretty accurate?
Just like roll with the punches, you know? It's
Right.
just do whatever comes my way. If someone right now was like, Nick, I want you to build 30 of these tables, you know, we've got this budget and it's huge, and, you know, can you get it done in the next couple of months? I'd be like, damn, I will rise to this challenge, you know? And I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. And then, you know, the outsiders would be like, oh, he's building again. And I'd probably be saying no to a couple of photography jobs to get this done. So yeah, I don't know. I just would just come with what the best deal is. I'd go with what the best deal is. So for the 3D stuff, I was doing that during lockdown because I couldn't be out taking photos. I didn't have any tools. I had to create something, you know, I always have that urge. So it's like the 3D is the best way because you just need a computer. So I guess that's what I went for. And I got a couple of jobs with it. I really want to do more 3D jobs, but I guess it's just like there's more, what do you call it? There's more photography jobs at the moment. People don't know they need 3D jobs at the moment. So yeah, I'm just trying to get my backlog of photography jobs done before I go on holiday.
You're probably like a real early starter. Do you feel like an early starter in that 3D modeling space? Like I can't go to Fiverr yet and get someone to make a 3D.
Oh no, you can go to Fiverr. There's so many. Yeah, it's like really big in like Pakistan and India. I see so many people on Fiverr doing
Like good ones?
Yeah, they seem pretty good. Yeah, they're better than me. But it's also like someone's put gum under my desk.
Really?
That is disgusting.
Does that piss you off?
Actually, it does.
Kind of makes me mad too that somebody would come into like someone's, like who the fuck would do that?
Who would do that? Come into my studio and put gum under my table?
Let's guess.
I don't know.
I think I have. I don't want to say any names.
Can you like just telepathically get it through to me? What?
I can't do this right now.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, anyway, I want to talk to one last thing. We still got a bit of time. I wanted, like, pretty much everything that we've talked about, that we've kind of pursued, has nothing to do with our original uni degree. Like, zero.
The old geology and
100
geophysics.
Yeah. Yeet. Sorry, I'm practicing that dance move. But I studied like a Bachelor of Arts majoring in history.
Yeah.
And you studied...
Bachelor of Science majoring in geology and geophysics.
And
at the University of Sydney.
Yeah, mine's at Vic Uni, and we did like nothing related to that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've had
well, you've had a tiny bit.
I've had
actually.
a couple of jobs that I've definitely gotten through the degree. Which in the early days, like, I don't even know. Oh, it helps. You know, it helps somehow. Probably shouldn't have done them for as long as I did.
Sure.
But
I don't regret my decision at all, but I definitely feel like going into uni was like a security blanket. You know, like I
don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm a bit scared. Hey, 3 years of, you know, in a structured environment.
It's a really hard one. Like, I don't know any case studies of any other countries. Like, I think what my body wants to say is be like, you finish high school, everyone just needs to get the guts to do their own thing or like make a decision, you know. But I don't think that's the case. I think that everyone should go to uni. I think that it should just be an extension of like high school or something, and everyone goes. And it would be cool if they were like public unis, you know, free.
Immediately after high school?
I don't know, because then that's such a long time educating. But if it could just become the norm, you know,
Sure.
and then no one would question it. Yeah.
I don't know if it should be enforced, but at the same time, I think what
Maybe
I'm
not
trying to get at,
enforced. Maybe just really encouraged and incentivized.
but what I'm trying to get at as well is like, I had no freaking clue what I wanted. And I'm only just now at 24 kind of getting an idea of what direction I want to start going into. And hypothetically, but in saying that, like, I was just messing around, like from literally up until like a year and a half ago, just like, you know, fucking around, didn't really have any, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you told me now, what I know now, if I could go back to uni, I would 100% take something totally different.
Yeah, maybe it is a bit like young to be making those decisions.
I think so.
But then also like, it depends. Your uni degree really doesn't have to define what you do for the rest of your life.
Of course not.
Which is what we're doing.
Yeah, totally. But I wonder, like, is the value, like, I was $32,000 in debt, you know, initially. And,
What do you mean was?
well, now I'm a bit less because I've paid quite a bit of it off.
All right.
But that whole idea of like, should I just go straight into uni, you know, right after high school? I don't really know what I want to do. The value that $32,000 could have brought me doing something totally different, maybe even doing like a, you know, a course.
Yeah, but it's like convincing an 18-year-old to do that.
Totally. Yeah.
That's the hard bit.
Yeah, but that's where I'm wondering like where the encouragement should lie. Like there should definitely be, but then again, like we're in like a real different kind of circle, I think, to most people, or to like the, you know, like some people finish high school, do a little gap year, and then
like
study policy, and then
a lot of our friends just went straight in and then just go straight into jobs, you know.
yeah, which is totally fine. But I know for me, like it just would not have worked.
Well, I did do that, but it was shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you come out of it, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. I don't think the job environment was right. Just getting a job that quick.
No, yeah, it seems still very. But then again, like
I was
there's
like 21.
Yeah. Like, all right, yes, time to settle down.
Yeah.
You know, steady, get the girl, you know, Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, I did have a Ferrari.
Or a Lamborghini, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just weird trying to like, it's a lot of pressure to put on somebody to kind of figure out what you want to do. But that's like the whole emphasis. Like my parents were always like, listen, what you're going to study probably isn't going to define you at all.
Yeah.
But it does help you get a bit of structure. But I was talking to somebody about this recently too, in terms of like figuring out what you want to do is less a process of like, I'll do this and maybe this is it. And yes, this is the path. It's more of like imagine like a spectrum, and you do things and you knock things off of that spectrum and you gradually figure out, oh, I kind of like this area. And you move towards that direction by doing things you don't like.
Ah, yeah.
So it's like, I think the proper way to approach it is not being like, I'm going to figure out what I do like. It's like, I'm going to figure out what I don't like. And you just knock things out and you gradually, okay, I'm finding that I'm actually kind of enjoying this general area after doing so much shit that I didn't like.
Yeah. But then, I look at it in a similar way, but not as in I'm actively trying to find out what I dislike. That seems like a little bit negative for me. I'm kind of like, I will just do what comes my way.
Sure.
And see what I like.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to like finding a passion or like figuring out what you like. And when I said like rolling with the punches, it's just do whatever comes. You know, I don't really have
connotations. Yeah.
I don't no, but I don't have like a big ego when it comes to my jobs yet. I'll just be like, oh, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give that a go. And I get screwed over sometimes. But
do you reckon that ego will come? It's like you got to keep in check.
I just said no to a job actually.
Really?
Yeah, but that was because
ego's too big. You thought it was below.
No, I didn't want to get back in the workshop. Yeah, I was scared.
Boy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to make
My
something.
hands are so soft.
Yeah. I don't want to be a chippy.
Manual labor.
That
No,
was
thank you.
hard.
My back hurt.
Those 15-hour days. That was fucking hard. Never again.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I could never do roofing again, I don't think.
I'm just too much of a wimp.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen.
Hey,
This has been fun.
What's the
This has been
time?
Real. It's been real fun. That's gonna be my call, my sign off.
it's been real fun. All right, rate me.
Now, what do you think of me as a person?
Yeah.
Would you hang out with me? Would you get a beer with me? And